Orange box at championships.
And everyone took the helicopters first.
The drones?
The drones are terrible.
Such happy memories.
First of all, I still
Let's
have
change
the
the
drone.
subject.
You're just irresponsible.
Ever since like I was younger, right, I've thought that my toys would come up to life, and like there's days where I would save some of my food and give it to my toys, and come back and find out that there's like tons of ants everywhere, and like now that I've joined, I've went to high school in Harlem and like FDA, and there's a robotics team, and it was like a great place to go to. I was able to build a toy that can actually like
A giant toy.
a giant, beautiful toy that do stuff that you you wanted to do. You wanted to do in like the beginning of the year, and like just like seeing like everybody or seeing my teammate and I just building the robot for 6 weeks long, and it, like you see the stress, you see all like the teamwork stuff. It just fulfills me that like wow, my childhood is here, is back to life, the childhood.
That's how our logo came to be. Our team captain 2 years ago.
No.
3 years ago, Julian Frost. So when he was a kid, he used to draw this thing all the time, and he never really knew what it was. But he kept like redrawing it, and then when he came to the Harlem Knights, he was finally able to make his logo, his cartoon into something. So it became our logo for the team. Before it was just a knight holding a wrench and a screwdriver, and now Tinko, he calls it, is our mascot because it's the embodiment of if you dream it, you can build it. So like this was his personal toy idea, and now he built it into like our brand for our team. So.
And then we inspire most of our robots out of him. If you look at this
this one literally looks like him.
It looks like him.
Has square, eyes.
Most of our robots come to be like Tinko.
And we follow after names of Tinkos. So
Yeah.
Tinko Kong.
So we have Sir Tinko, Tinko Stallion.
Tinko Kong for the
Wait. Okay, so like one at a time,
Yes.
like introduce yourselves.
Oh, right. I'm Miles. I'm the captain.
Do you have your Tinko name?
Oh no, we don't have. No, it's not nicknames for us. Each robot is named after
each
Tinko.
robot, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well that's a fun question. If you did have a Tinko name, what would your Tinko name
I think we
be?
can name all the names of it.
The back of my
Yourself,
sweater.
your own
Oh.
The
personal
back of my
self.
sweater says Captain Tinko. So there's that.
Captain Tinko. How about you?
Oh dang. I'm gonna stick Queen. I'm gonna stick to Queen Tinko.
Queen.
Okay, all right, cool. If you need a moment, no worries. How about you, Layla? All right. You want me to come back? Okay. How about you?
Tinko Mao.
Tinko Mal? Cool.
Tinko hype probably because I'm a hype beast, but
Cause I'm a hype. Gigi.
Tinko.
Alright,
Probably like Tinkle Princess. I'm not really sure.
How dainty.
that's the most.
That is so dainty.
That's the cutest Tinko name.
The queen with her crown and the princess reigning supreme. All
You got a
right.
crown, don't worry.
My name would be I gotta go on Donko.
No, it was Dinko.
It was Donko. Well, no,
It was
for
Dinko.
me it's Donko.
Yeah, because Donko.
Because
Tinko.
since summer, me and Bisar, another kid on the team, we've been saying Donk a lot. So like Donko, it fits together and it's like awesome.
Donk and Tinko. Donk. Gigi.
Donko. Like that's why I said like Madonko because you're in the involved version of Donk.
Oh gosh. I don't know what that means. Alright.
And you, sir?
Tinkle Train.
Tico Train.
Tinko Express.
Tinko Express.
Express.
What year was that?
That was last year.
Oh,
That's still the name of the robot.
What would your Tinko name be?
I guess Mrs. Tinko.
Oh,
That's cute.
Very cool.
Mine would be. I like to make people laugh.
Tinko laughs.
Tinko laughs.
What is your favorite piece of engineering you've like ever seen on a robot? It doesn't have to be technically made by us or like just anywhere.
Ooh, this is a good question.
I had two things. Well, the one thing I found really interesting was when, like, for the Vex Robotics class, like, we ran out of gears, so we started 3D printing our own. It was like, that was really crazy.
Oh,
But then the one team at the competition, we were in playoffs, and like they had this special piece that helped them like take in the cube. Like once that broke off, it was like that was crazy. But I don't know how they got it or what they used to make it, but it was really cool.
One of my favorite video about robots is the one where they have like, you know how every year they have like that one robot tournament where like they destroy other
Battle
robots.
bots.
Oh, battle bots, yeah.
Yes. Oh, I have dreams of that every single. Oh my god. You know how awesome that is, just cutting up robots and metals? Oh, it's beautiful. Oh my god. Just like, imagine having a flamethrower on a robot.
But it's like you spend all this time building your robot and it gets deleted in the first round.
Well, see, don't delete it.
You're like, dope, I'm gonna cry now.
Just make it cool. Make sure it doesn't get destroyed and, you know, set on fire.
I think the coolest thing was I just had it. Where'd it go? It left. Rest in peace. GG.
Was it Zoe 101 where that little robot like blew up that big
Oh
robot?
yeah. Boston Dynamics. They built a humanoid robot.
Oh, the one that did backflips?
Yes.
No, that was
So
crazy.
so they tested it out. They put a box on the ground with like hazard tape on it, and the robot walked to it, and they kicked the box, and the robot will walk a little further and then pick it up, and then it picked up a crate and then stacked it, climbed on one, jumped on the second, turned around and did a backflip off it.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
A robot did a
Like,
backflip
go
off a
on-
crate.
Yeah, go on YouTube.
Like I want to work for them just to make things like that.
See, I was asking questions because your like robot do a backflip during pit scouting. I didn't know a robot was actually capable of doing backflips.
It's so dope. They have like robo dogs and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Cheetahs.
ridiculous.
Robo-dog.
They have Robodogs as
I generally just love the team. It's so welcoming. You learn so much from it every single day. Sometimes like stuff that you don't expect to learn would just occur out of nowhere. Like the conversation that you make on this team, just anything goes. One thing can lead to another, and the conversation that this team create, it's like it's so fulfilling. Like you can talk about literally anything. It can go from
Like, for
cactus
example, yeah.
to dogs
to
to food,
Wait.
and then like to like, oh, I want to travel to another country, all in one conversation. It's like,
Wait, but robots.
like, I'm just talking about the
Oh, right,
robotics team.
right, right,
I'm talking
right.
about the robotics team and like why I like it so much.
Robots.
I'm not gonna lie, like Mr. Bianchi, our coach, he like really took a toll on me. Like my freshman year, I like
Make it sound like he beat you up.
freshman year like I was really bad in this class. It's like I would throw nuts and bolts across the room, like because I just didn't care. But then it's like sophomore year, he let me come into another one of his classes, and I was like, all right, this guy like has something set for me. And then like he's like, you should join the robotics team, and I joined. It's like this is an amazing place. Like I've never been so, I never felt so included into like something so amazing like robotics. So I give it like claps up to him.
I really feel fortunate to have every mentor and our coach, because each mentor brings up something and tries to build a really good relationship with not each and every one of us, but like each and everybody in their committee. So it's really nice to talk to people and talk to people with experience, and also it's really good to just do that all.
Add to why she likes the team.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as a freshman, like new to the team and everything, at first I really didn't know like what it was gonna be about, and then it was like amazing because when I joined, it was like, it felt like I've been there for a while, like how everyone was so friendly and accepting and everything. It's like, I just love it. It was really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been here for a century. I feel like I've been here for a century. Like, I've been here since my freshman year. So, I like, when I get into robotics room, time stops for me. So I always lose track of time. And then my mother's calling me like, oh, where are you? I'm like, oh, yeah, about that. Like, the robotics room is my home. So, well, my second home, away from home. But this is where I always go, like, no matter what. Like, even if I have nothing to do, I'll just go to the robotics room. So, yeah.
They're more of a family. Yeah, we're more of a family and less of just people like you work with.
Yeah.
They genuinely care to see if you're like succeeding and how your life is going. And if they actually notice when you're doing bad or if something's going on, not a lot of other teams like really realize what's going on outside of the team or just seeing each other in school.
I'm not sure if I want to ask a question just to make Miles mad or.
You jumped.
Okay, so we've all taken math, right?
Let's go.
We totally are. Even if you're not good at math, right? What is your favorite topic in any math class you've learned? You've ever had?
Dilations and reflections.
Percentages.
I take a piece.
I know everybody's most hated one.
What is it?
You can say standard deviation. Oh my god.
No. That's like AP Calc.
You learn
That's
at the end
algebra
of trig.
2.
That's like no, that's not algebra 2.
That
That's
is.
algebra 2. You learn at the end of trig.
Proofs.
Thank you.
Yes! Oh my god!
You have to write an essay for a question that only has 2 sentences.
Am I the
Two
two?
You know what? Calculus makes it so much better. You
Well, I
have to do
like
it.
proofs.
I hate
Proofs.
that.
I love to write.
Nah.
No,
I just thought they
proofs
were
no.
easy.
Proofs
Writing
no.
it to math, it makes it
No.
easier for me.
It's like,
No.
why is this triangle a triangle? Because it is.
Because I can go
It has 3 sides.
I
It's
hate
the-
proofs with passion.
Proofs are.
So you have to show it and then you have to do it. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I hate proofs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not answering that question.
But I think we can all
No,
agree.
come on, Miles, answer it.
Come on, Miles.
No.
We can all agree.
We know how
our
much you
favorite
love
part of
calculus.
Well, now,
First of all of calculus in general
Oh no.
has just been exhausting because it all ties into itself so deeply. Like if you don't know one thing, you're done for the rest of the school year. So like it's a great class, but it's exhausting. So I'd say all of calc is just painful. Don't tell her I said that.
I think she already knows.
Oh, yeah.
Me, okay.
Yeah, we all love
We all
math. You
love
just
Yeah.
I'm not feeling the love though. What's
like
up?
beat you up.
Anything that has to do with percentages.
Oh,
You know, I can use that in the real world.
He's our money guy.
Yeah, finance.
I think my favorite math topic would have to be waves or like sine or like any other type of like actual function.
Oh, you say that now.
Do you think
Because no. I have a reason why though. Because it was the first time I've ever beaten the kid that was smarter than me in
Wait.
anything. Yes, every single. So I'm not gonna name names, but every single test, every time he like the test scores comes out, he comes and asks me. He's like, "Hey, what did you get?" I'm like, "I got a 95." Oh, good for you. I got a 100. And he just shuts me down completely every single test except that one test where he scored so low that he does not want. Memories coming back. It's beautiful.
Nah, I know exactly how you feel like
That feels
freshman
kind of.
year, trig, my god. Mr. Jackson, you know, he likes to play favorites sometimes. So I would always get my work done first, and I would get an But when Victor got it, it was like, oh, Victor, you monster. It was like a non-stop competition between me and Victor. Oh my god. And then we got to calc, and then, you know, everything.
Everybody's doing that. What's the competition for? So I have a question. Like, what was the first thing that you ever considered STEAM, or like the first project you've ever worked on, like outside of robotics, if you ever have?
Mine, I had two. Before this was my middle school. We put together these like styrofoam boats that floated in the water, and it was like a 4-week project. And I was like, I'm very competitive, so I had to get mine done first.
Week 1.
Yeah, so like the very first week I was done, and then I won the competition. The second biggest project was the shade awake, the invention from sophomore year, a mechatronics class, where it was like automatic venetian blinds that open based on sunlight and tells you the time, date, and weather. And it's like being able to show that on TV was like, that made me feel like STEM was something that I needed to do.
Altia, you ever take something apart and put it back together?
Oh, I never really had much experience in the STEM field until I joined a robotics team, so it gave me more insight that I have never seen before. So that's why I really like the team. Well, I said I never really took in anything STEM related outside of the robotics team. So the robotics team gave me a chance in order for me to have hands-on experience in this field itself. So I really like it because of that.
Cool.
That's why I married an engineer. So he could do it for me.
I think that's the point.
I did not have much freedom to do things like that growing up. My dad was very strict and like you have to be proper. So I think being exposed to this robotics team has really broadened my horizons as well and showed me that you don't have to, there's so many opportunities that come, wow, thank you very much. There's so many opportunities that are available when you can join a program like this. Like Miles was saying, different companies and organizations want our students to intern with them. And when we're at competitions, there's all these sponsors that come by and they want to know, how does this impact you? And we had one of our former captains share at a gala about how robotics impacted him. And immediately he got all these business cards. I want you to work for us. So it's, I didn't have this opportunity growing up, but that's why I want to make this opportunity available to more people.
Also, I have a question, and it's so random. But like, when you first joined the robotics team, has your TV ever broken or anything happened to your cable, and someone has asked you, "Oh, you do it because you're in robotics"?
Yeah.
You guys do this to me all the time in the room. It's like, hey, my headphones don't work. You're captain, figure it out. Like, I don't know. It's just something that happens. Like, you tell people you do STEM, and all of a sudden you're like a professional electrician or engineer.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, there was like one time I was in my cousin's house, and like she hadn't paid her bill, her lights bill. Like they cut it off, and then she's like, "Now look how you're here." I'm like, I just like light switch out and like hooked up the battery so she can have some light for the day, and then she paid her bill and got it back on. So I helped her with some light in that day.
My aunt is always asking me to troubleshoot her computer like I know what I'm doing. I just pretend to just type things and hopefully it works. Sometimes it does.
There's always a virus that they don't know how it got there.
They're
And then you
like,
open up Internet Explorer and there's like 90 toolbars.
Yeah, you know, make that. No, I don't. But you do stand right.
I hate being asked to fix the Wi-Fi box, and it's just a matter of pressing the reset.
Oh, the Wi-Fi broken, fix it. Okay.
Button. I swear.
There's a button right there.
You just to you click it, but to other people you're a whole.
You're a wizard.
Exactly. Oh my god, it's ridiculous.
You know what? I like it. It feels good.
I don't know. It feels like when Mark Zuckerberg was explaining Facebook to the senators. One of the senators asked, like, is there a way for people to opt in to your data being shared? He's like, that's how the site works. And it was just like, every time I have to explain to somebody how STEM works, it's just, I get flashbacks. It's hilarious.
Tell me why my grandmother asked me to put the cords from the VCR to the cable. I literally took 2 cords, just put it in. She was like, "You're a genius." I was like, it was
Sometimes those instructions.
People still have VCRs.
Sometimes there's instructions they don't
VCR
read.
used to bring back so much memories. Like after you finish, you have to have like that one thing that wind it back.
Hey,
You have to
rewind the whole thing.
You have to hand it and borrow it from the library. It was
Did you?
my gosh.
Do you guys feel like after joining the robotics team or just doing STEM anything, it's like you've gone home and wanted to make your own thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Like I remember a time where I was taking an Arduino board and an extension cord, and I was bored. So I cut the extension cord and I plugged the wires into the Arduino board, and I got a light switch. And I was like, if I turn the light switch on, it'll make this light bulb light up. And it'll make the light bulb light up, and make the wire light up. And it was like, it was cool though, like seeing the electrical connections. But after the robotics team, it's like it inspired me to do a lot of different hands-on things on my own.
You're talking about taking apart your phone to try to fix what happened. Yeah, she took apart her own phone.
Okay, so, well, you know how iPhones are, they break very easily. So,
Right here. Right here.
It was funny to me.
For no reason. For no reason.
Let me see that screen. Let me see that screen though.
Did it break when you pulled it out your pocket?
No. It was. I was watching YouTube. My brother screamed, threw the phone on the bed, came back, phone's on the floor, looked at it, cried.
This is why you invest in screen protectors, buddy.
True, but no.
so for the second time in less than like 6 months, my phone broke again. And it just kind of turned off completely out of nowhere. So I thought, let me use my brain and try to fix it myself. So I went to YouTube, looked it up, and it looks so easy. Well, not that easy, but I need a screwdriver that fit in those small screws. So I'm like, well, I don't have one, so I made a homemade screwdriver. Like I took a rock and like a.
Do you just beat it?
Yeah, it was like a metal pen in there. I just like I shaped it.
That's dope.
That is
yeah. And I got it open, like everything was open, and then I did what it said on the video, but then like it was the same.
So you turned it.
Just throw the whole phone away.
It was kind of irrelevant.
I mean, you invented a screwdriver though.
I remember taking apart something once and never fixing it again. I had a Barbie electric guitar when I was younger, and the sound didn't work. So I like just took it apart in total to fix the sound. I put it back and the sound never worked again, but at least I got it back together.
My favorite experience of taking out something was so have you guys played with Nerf guns before?
Yeah.
Alright. So there's times where like your Nerf guns like it don't shoot as far as you want it to, or it's like it's too old, right? So you go on YouTube and like, how to make my gun, and like they tell you to modify it. Oh my gosh! I opened my whole Nerf gun, got every part I needed, like, but I remember crying all night because I could not put the gun back together. It was like I cannot break the news to my parents because I know something's gonna happen to me if I do. And like it's like $13 for my allowance is missing because I bought some weird stuff just to make sure that I hurt some kid when we were playing Nerf War.
Why?
No, it's because like.
Spent 13.
Yeah, you always like. Alright, so in Nerf War, like if you always lose, you want to be that one guy, just one day to win, right? And you keep losing, so you're like, I have to win the side. I have to modify the gun, and like, oh man.
Did you lose a piece or something, or you broke pieces?
No, I just don't know how to put it back together. I think I had everything there, just like. I don't know where to put this, and I just started crying. My dad came in
Did your parents find out?
Oh no, they did. They did a.
What happened?
It was ridiculous, but the thing was they came in because I was not down for dinner, right? So like they came in, they're like, what happened? You just see a 5th grader just laying down crying, hoping to like when you wake up or like something
It'll fix itself.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Oh my gosh, it was.
So everyone remembers those Transformer toys?
Which ones?
Which ones?
The very first movie, the very first Michael Bay film. So I used to have a Bumblebee toy. So I got it for Christmas. The next day, his head came off, and because I'm like 6 years old, I don't have the manly strength to like put back his head. I had to ask my uncle's father to snap it back on. Don't worry about the connection.
Okay.
He's not my grandfather.
Just let it rock.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Don't worry.
Come on.
So we got his head back on, but then his arm breaks while putting back on the head. So then we do that. So we pop back on the arm, but then his other arm broke. It kept breaking apart, and I barely played with it. So for me to just transform it was kind of hard. Yeah, it was a deluxe class toy.
Speaking of trick, have you guys ever thought your toys would come to life before? Just
Yes.
Just questioning.
Yes.
Because I had a dinosaur and I fed it once, and and I remember coming back with a ton of ants on it. So I'm
who would have thought?
Who would have put peanut butter on a stuffed toy and just bring all these ants?
A 2-year-old has a lot of freaking creativity. Or 2 or 3 years old. Okay,
You'd be surprised if you remember.
Doing things on my own.
Yeah. So something I did in the summer was All-Star Code, and at the end of the project, our job was to build a website or some sort of app just to display. And I was working on it, and when the summer intensive ended, they emailed me last month to keep working on it because they wanted to show it off at their 5th anniversary party. So I was there, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was 2 days ago. I was there 2 days ago with a bunch of other people from All-Star Code, and we were showing off our websites and projects to different entrepreneurs and philanthropists. So I don't know, it was kind of rewarding because if I weren't in robotics, I wouldn't have found out about All-Star Code because a previous programming committee member, Charles, told me about it. So I applied and I got in. So like through the robotics team, I feel like a lot of people find other organizations that do STEM to find like great opportunities they can do outside of school.
Damn.
Like Maker Lab. Oh, anyone going to Maker Lab?
I'm about to.
Oh, they're applying to Maker
I think
Lab.
the
Also
only
codes,
STEM thing
so
I did
thanks
was
for
like
that.
environmental related.
But like this. Well, after the robotics season, there's summer, right? And then like that summer, I just for some reason like without the robotics stuff, it feels like you're bored.
It feels
You have
empty.
nothing to do.
Yeah.
It's like you have to join some type of program
I hate when
to
STEM
fulfill
ends.
that boredom.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
step related.
There's oh my god, there's days where like you would lay in your bed and just do nothing and look at the wall like just counting like how many cracks you have or
And
whatever.
then it's 3 a.m. and you're like, oh, well.
I make constellations on my ceiling. Like, I just don't do it. I think the only STEM thing I did was I interned at the American Museum of Natural History,
That's dope.
and it was so like the guy who made the Dark Matter movie. We worked near him.
Wait, dark matter.
I forgot his name. And I'm mad I forget his name, but my
Neil
favorite.
deGrasse Tyson.
Yes, we actually worked for him. What are we talking about?
Did you meet him?
No, he was working next door to us,
Oh,
but I
yeah.
never saw him.
No handshaking there.
I was so mad that my friend saw him and I didn't.
Rest in peace.
And I work in the same hall they do. My favorite hall was the space hall. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
space is dope.
And that like after doing that I really wanted to like do astrophysics, but there's other reasons too. But I think my favorite thing was explaining how gravity works and altitude. And what?
How does gravity work?
No,
That's
like
good.
when you get
What-
to the altitude, you get to space.
No, what's
It's like-
altitude?
Like we had shaving cream, and we had an air chamber, right? So we would take the air out, and the shaving cream with a
Would,
little
like,
bit of it
deflate?
had. No, it wouldn't deflate. It would inflate.
Expand?
It would expand.
Ah.
And it was like the best thing, like explaining it to them. But then my boss saw how excited I was. He said, "You're not working in that hall anymore."
Can you explain?
He's like, "You're done." And then I like moved to the dinosaur hall, which was also amazing.
How did they take you from the future to the past? Space dinosaurs. You know what killed the dinosaurs? Space.
Did you?
Well.
Did you know that they think that T-Rexes actually didn't eat meat because their hands were so short they couldn't have really grasped anything?
But
That's
but
kind
the
of
thing is,
hilarious.
like, we could, like,
Something I would probably say to myself would just be keep living your dream, keep pushing through anything that gets in your way, because you are the best person that you can be, and nothing should ever stop you from your dreams nor your passions.
Yeah, Victor.
Inspirational.
That's
Inspirational.
That hit
Yeah.
your corazón.
that
So today's April 13th on a Friday. Wait,
Oh, God.
Friday April 13th?
Friday the 13th.
Friday 2018, right? So hopefully I'll watch this a year from now. But Val,
5?
Die starts today, okay? Die starts today. The Die starts today.
That started today, like for 6
Like
years
6
now.
years ago. What is it? I want to see you not slack off. I know like you love sleeping. You sleep everywhere, like literally everywhere. Just like get your full 8, 9, maybe 10 if you need hours of sleep, but don't slack off and just do what you gotta do to make yourself happy, your family's happy, and just don't get into trouble.
Yeah, bow.
yeah, about bleeding.
For what I want to say is that even though I might have doubts right now and also in the future, I would like to overcome them and become true to myself and stay on the path that I created for myself. So,
That deserves it.
Alright, I will probably tell future Dylan, no matter what business endeavor or what dumb business idea you have, like in the back of your head that you're trying to make this big multi-billion-dollar company out of, just always remember where you came from and remember what made you like fall in love with business, and never forget what started you and what made all your ideas like come to life.
Yeah, definitely.
I would tell myself to continue to dream big and take my ideas and bring them to life.
Let's go.
man.
Nice and easy.
I would say that no matter how hard you think something can be, if you put your mind to it, you can always do it.
Okay, 5 years ago, 5 years ago today. 5 years later today. 5 years later today, Epiphany. Stop doubting yourself, okay? That's one. And if you still do, stop it. Also, when you have an idea, don't ever think it's wrong, because 90% it's probably right. Also, dream big, child. Wait, you'll be older than I am now?
You're having a hard time.
I know you. It's just hard. Your time.
21. 21.
Oh, don't.
21.
Have fun, okay? Have fun.
Don't do that.
Don't do this.
Myself in 5 years, yikes. I think I'd have to tell myself to, stay humble, stay open to people's ideas. Fix my punctuality because, scheduling is kind of hard for me. I'm always late. But I'd probably have to continue to dream big, work towards what I want, and make sure it gets done. And help others after.
Yeah, Miles.
Oh, wow.
Let's go.
I would tell myself in 5 years, I hope you realize it's never too late to learn. And I hope you can use a drill by now. And always believe in your kids.
Yes.
Follow Made with Steam wherever we are. Facebook, Twitter, Vero, Snapchat, Google+, Instagram. Stay tuned for more, and don't be afraid to post a review, share your favorite episode with a friend, or even ask to be a part of a future episode. Thanks for listening. Thanks for visiting. We're Made with Steam.
Something that one of our meepers said was like T-Rexes versus their grandfather. It's like T-Rexes were smackers. No, they were clappers, not smackers.
But the arms away.
They're short, so they're clapping versus their grandfathers who were able to like slap people.
Oh.